Back to another Elite Dangerous live stream with Commander Shinakuma. Now, it does seem like it's been a while since I've actually said that, because it is. I've taken a 6 weeks break away from the game, partly to play Red Dead Redemption 2 and Darksiders 3, and partly because I was just waiting for Chapter 3 to be over and done with in terms of beta, because they don't release it to console players, and I'm not going to attempt to compete with the big guys, and I'm not buying it for PC. But as the title suggests, really is a case of hero to zero. I feel like almost a newcomer to the game. Just logged in, been told that all of my custom controls have been reset. Thanks for that. And on top of that, I don't really understand what any of this shit does anymore. So if you want to sit and watch an idiot fumble his way through the newest system, you are in the right place for that. So, first things first. As I understand it, outfitting has changed.
This is a message to all commanders. Please reduce your speed.
And we have lost the Discovery Scanner in so many words, and it has been replaced with nothing. So in theory, this Asper now has a slot freed up. So let's find out what we can chuck in that. Yeah, so there we go. So you've got an empty internal slot. Right, well, I've pretty much got everything on this ship that I want. I've got a cargo rack, got bi-weave shield generator, Olympic controller, planetary vehicle hangar, pretty much every scanner you can imagine. Not really sure what I want to put in this. Never been stuck for stuff. Don't need that, don't need that. Want that, want that, want that. That's a good put one of those, isn't it? What's this gonna do? Increase my jump range, yeah. Good as any. Sorry, I'm just fiddling around with the controls on YouTube. Hey buddy, how you doing? Yeah, so this is me back. I've not actually done anything in Elite since the update dropped. You've probably seen I've been making some Red Dead 2 stuff and just taking a little break away. So I literally have no idea what I'm doing here. So I put on a new FSD booster, give me a little extra boost. Graphics, yeah, they look a little bit crisper. A for effort on graphics. You seem to have some game-breaking bugs into the update. Most are taking a small break until they address stuff. Yeah, and I probably should, if I'm really honest. But I'm curious. Right, let's take off. And Jesus. I don't even... So I've caught a bit of the betas that they've advertised, so of course I have seen the various new modes in practice, but I have no idea whatsoever what buttons to fly, what buttons to press.
Go for departure.
I've reset all of my custom key bindings, so undoubtedly nothing's going to work the way I remember it. Why the hell is my gear going up? And that's, of course, it's not going up.
Landing gear retracted.
It's no longer custom. Right, well, first thing I want back is my screen center dot. Very important. I use that a lot. So that can go to controls, miscellaneous, show screen center dot on. Thank you. There you go. So I got my little dot back, so I'll not be crashing into any suns. Next thing, options, controls, and what am I looking for? I'm looking for flight throttle. So 0 throttle is not that button. Absolute dumbass. Right, attempt to do that again. Controls, flight throttle, set, and then 75% is that one. Apply those changes.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, don't do that. Oh, what? That normally puts me into up, and triangle normally puts you into Super Cruise, but seemingly not anymore. So how does one get analysis mode, combat mode? I imagine this is like watching a day one player fumble the way through the controls, not a veteran player. Okay. Right, so first most important question. How do we start this one? Enter Super Cruise to use FSS. Well, I can't get into Super Cruise because you've changed the fucking button, you twats.
Frameshift drive charging.
Okay, maybe they haven't.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Yep, absolutely everything from scratch. It's not the end of the world. It took me, you just change it as you find it. Right, so it seemed to me that you press triangle and right trigger 1. Or not.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Right, so first things first, throttle down. Okay, so it's not that combination of buttons.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
So first thing you have to do is slow down. Oh! Ah. Energy pulse required to calibrate sensors. Press and hold X. Okay, so there's a familiar sound. Okay, orbital bodies. Right, so use the right thumbstick to tune. Oh. Okay. Well, these look to be planets. That's an exclamation mark. And okay, so you move that left and right, but but you can't spin it. You can only move it left and right and up and down. So what's this? Press zoom. Oh, degraded emissions. Okay. Ah, so this is the new USS Finder. So that would make this degraded emissions. So the little white circles are signal sources, and you zoom in and out on them to identify them. Degraded emissions. Degraded. Degraded. That's a bit sucky in this system. Degraded. So it really is just as simple as zoom in and out on them to see what they are. Oh, encoded, degraded, encoded. Okay, so I can see how that might be a bit more useful to find high-grade emissions. What's the deal with this? Can we zoom in on these? Oh, you have to tune it. Astronomical body discovered. 5 credits. Wow, well, thank you very much. I needed 5 credits. But didn't find any high-grade emissions, but I can see how you would find them. It's not actually that difficult. And one assumes that oh, this looks different. Contacts. Navigation. So if I wanted to filter for just signal sources, I'd have found all of that shit, none of which I actually need. All the high-grade emissions are on your nav paddle already. Which one I might tell you. Sorry, I'm sure in the comment. You don't even have to scan if you're trying to farm fast. It's in the system. We've already scanned. Hit the nav paddle when you wake into the system. Okay, fair enough. Right, so just going to use EDDB just to see if some of that holds, the old stuff holds true. So I want modules, I want stations, I want systems. So if I select let's say a fed system, state is election, find systems, population is high, so God, I hope this still works the same. Please bring up the map, thank you very much. So we're going to go to CORICCHA. Now this is an election state, so there should be a shit ton of core dynamics here. Core dynamics being one of the most popular stuff that people look for. Let's go and see what's what. So probably should have a little trip down to Maya as well. It's going to be one of the very first questions people ask. Now I'm back. Is Maya paying out 300 million? The answer is no. Of course it's not. Well, I have seen a lot of YouTubers making new videos about Robigo, like the new videos, despite the fact that the same videos that have been around for the last 2 years. It's odd, just rehashing the same stuff, but is what it is. Right.
Fuel scaling.
Let's just get out of the sun's.
Frameshift drive charging.
I've seen a lot of Facebook posts about system crashes. Hopefully it won't crash, because if the game crashes, it will take the live stream with it, which will be annoying.
4, 3, 2,
The Meta Allo guy. I know, maybe they're back. Right, catch you later, Nasty Dude Gaming. Thanks for dropping by. Much appreciated. I tell you one thing, that lighting with the sun is very different.
fuel scaling.
It's quite impressive, to be fair. I do like the new lighting model. Kind of washes out your hood, but I guess that's what light does, so I can't really complain about that. Anyway, so the first thing I need to do is slow down. Press and hold triangle and right trigger 1. Then hunk it. So according to you guys now, they should be in my nav panel already. So I've got USS's, but I don't know what they actually are yet. Okie dokie. So, what is it? This one? Yeah, it's this one. Now we play the random, can you guess what it is yet? Distress call, degraded. Distress call, degraded, encoded. Oh. Oh, I see, that's different. So you can't actually see all of them unless you zoom in on some of the planets, where you'll get further, potentially further ones. So if I was looking for high-grade emissions, I ain't doing so good at the moment. That's a conflict zone, so we're not even looking for those. Okay, so that's a conflict zone. So I must confess, although at first glance this new system seemed to be better, I think the reality is that it's Crap. And potentially all this time that I'm arsing about doing this, I could be getting shot up by a griefer, and I imagine the first I'd know about it is when I had eject, eject. Right, well, I am not a fan. Catch you later, thanks for watching. Right, so let's try something different then. Allegiance, Federation, State is election, search, LHS 135. LHS 135. Right, it's definitely in state election.
Frameshift drive charging.
They've made the text on screen a lot smaller as well. So zero throttle. And the fact that I'm seeing ones that I've already seen lead me to believe that there are literally no high-grade emissions in this whole system. Well, normally finding them wouldn't be a problem. You just set off and cruise. But it looks now they're just screwing you in the ass. Ah, that sucks. But this new system was meant to be better. And I bet you can't even do it the old way. So millions of everything I don't bloody want and nothing of what I do. So now if you go to Supercruise and wait for a new signal source to pop up, will I be able to scan it like normally, or is it going to make me go into that stupid new mode? Let's find out. So I'm looking for a new signal source popping up in the right hand corner. Or does it not work that way anymore? Well, it looks like once you jump in, all the signal sources that are going to be in the system are already in the system, and if they aren't high-grade emissions, then you're screwed. I really don't like this new system at all. They're having a laugh. Of course you're not going to let me, are you? So all the signal sources that are currently in this system, oh no, there's some new ones, is there? So new ones will appear, but I've got to slow down and do a fresh scan every now and again to find them. And there are absolutely no high-grade ones, so not really a whole lot worth bothering with. Okay, well, this sucks, but it's true nonetheless. So let's go and see what other things are new.
Frameshift drive charging.
So that new FSD booster in place of my old Discovery scanner should help. 7 jumps to Maya. Not too bad. Can't just honk and go now, can I? I'd have to throttle down entirely, activate this annoying flipping scanner, then honk. Oh, so there's emissions even in unpopulated systems. that's interesting. Who'd have thought that, huh? Weird.
Frameshift drive charging.
So is it going to be a case that in order to get high-grade emissions you just try different systems? And if so, how do you know what you'll find in where? Well, I've been away playing Red Dead 2 videos on that, and then I've been playing Darksiders 3, and that one is just for me. I haven't made any YouTube videos on that, primarily because I think only me and 2 other people bought that game. So I'll be playing to an audience of 2. And secondly, because he's not really that interesting, so I didn't bother.
Fuel switch disengaged. Frameshift drive charging.
As the title suggests, I've gone from Elite Hero to Elite Zero. I know almost nothing, and I have absolutely no proper idea how the new USS system works. And they reset all of my key mappings, so I'm having to rebind those as I go. It's not too bad. It's not the end of the world, only pressing buttons. And at the moment we're on our way down to Maya to see the economy stay there. We know for a fact, because every elite YouTuber and his dog has posted about the new Rubigo. I say new old, nothing has actually changed. Emissions still pay the same, so you can make about 100 million an hour, which is news to absolutely nobody. To view menu, ship statistics. Where did I go? Jump range 56. Shield health almost nothing. Okay, fair enough. I can live with that.
Frameshift drive charging.
New USS. See, I went to 2 Federation systems in Election State, where normally I'd be able to pick up all the core dynamic composites I would require, and using the new system I found exactly 0. So I'm glad that it's working out for you, but based on the 10 seconds that I've tried it for, I can't see how. Unless I was doing something wrong. That's always possible. Key binding for heatsink is gone. That's why that wasn't working. tried out that new planet mapping thing. Could turn down the in-game audio a bit. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, because I'm using the mic from my PlayStation camera, which is pretty much directly next to the speaker from the monitor, so that would make sense. Fine. Just move this to there. Probably make it worse, to be fair. Turn that right down. Right, so first things first, let's get this ridiculous scan thing out of the way. Right, so we know that signal sources are found in this range here. Oh wow, high grade emissions, and just after I'd finished whining that there weren't any. It's like it was expecting me. So I guess when you come into a new system, especially if you're material hunting, then it would be a good idea to run through all of this first. If I was then to check my signal sources. $128,000 light seconds. I give that one a miss. Ultimate Guard Bureau. Ultimate Mobile Guard Bureau. Don't know what that is. Anyway, I'm here to do something specific. So let's go and do it. Where do we find out stats about the system that we're in? Aha. So rather than have the state written, as in words, not wrong one, they have changed them to symbols, so I need to learn what the little dollar symbol is and that shit means. Taking it, that means some type of war, and that probably means none. Why am I looking at 2A? Oh, for God's sake. These are all non-human, so I'm going to leave them alone in my unarmed Asp Explorer with 71 shields. I don't think that's a battle I'm going to win.
Orbital flight engaged.
These planets look a bit swankier as well. Look at that, request docking. That's easier. I like that.
Hotel, India. Welcome, Commander. Port facilities are at your disposal. Approval granted. Please make your way to landing pad 08. You're approved for automated docking sequence.
Landing gear deployed.
Yeah, it looks pretty now. Don't imagine it's any easier to drive.
Enjoy your stay, Commander.
Right, I haven't actually looked at a mission board yet, since the board hopping is now a thing of the past, so you've got what you've got, whether you like it or not. That rhymes. Yeah. Let's see what it comes up with. Right, so same old shit as before, so roughly 3 million for a planetary scan job, which you would get a bounty for, which means that you would then have to clear that bounty every single time you did that job, so thanks but no thanks. Disable the power grid, and those are all going to be at the same place, and they're paying about 1 million each. That is actually quite a lot of... You could use the old method that I did many, or you could just crash and not work at all. I think I might have discovered, assuming I'm still broadcasting, one of those flipping bugs that crash you out of the game. Because I currently have no controller input whatsoever. Or not, so I could in fact stack up these missions, but I'll be honest, Robigo pays significantly more than that for significantly less effort, so I don't care. Again, these planetary scan jobs are an utter waste of time because you get a bounty after each one. Don't really care about wartime shit. So deliver semiconductors. Again, deliver whatever that shit is. Skimmer me. So, and I can't board hop on that, which means that there are no meta alloys there. I'm not saying that they're gone forever, maybe they will come back. I know for a fact that players can't UA bomb stations anymore, which means that we can't get that glitch scenario where the computer is trying to even itself out and providing a ridiculous amount, but it's probably not gone forever. Yeah, same shit. Okay, that's lesson learned there. Right, so there's a whole mining stuff which I have not done yet, and I'm not going to do today. Although it will be fun to try it eventually. A bloody landing gear. Right, let's get that sorted. So, landing gear would come under flight miscellaneous, perhaps? Nope. Miscellaneous in general. Yep, there you go. So, set a new one. Those two together.
Landing gear retracted.
Good. I didn't know where near the boost button. There's nothing worse than going to deploy your boost, deploy your landing gear, only to mash the boost button by accident and putting yourself into a station wall.
You're clear of the restricted
And I have done that
zone,
more than
Commander.
once. So to get into Super Cruise now,
Frameshift drive charging.
just got to mash the triangle button without a
4, 3,
system engaged, I guess. Fucking triangle no longer does the job. Right, where are we going next? So we know Maya isn't giving out stupid amounts of money. We know Robigo is, so I'm not going there because that's already been covered to the nth degree, and you don't need to see another person doing the same thing. Let's see, is the Jameson crash site still viable?
frameshift drive charging.
I don't remember if I am still pledged to a power. And if I am, how the hell would I check it?
Fuel intake complete.
So it's reputation, session, finance, and permits. Fire groups, modules, oh, and home. There you go. So how do I maneuver around that? No, so I'm not actually pledged to anyone at the moment.
Frameshift drive charging.
I think the last thing I unlocked was the Imperial Hammer railguns, but I wanted the frag cannons, the ones with a tighter firing field. Shit, I should have pledged myself to them when I had 6 weeks off. Oh well, can't change it now. Discoveries I'm making here, are these just going into my codex, or am I actually making money off them too, just by being here? Who knows? To squadrons yet either. Am I going to join someone's, or am I going to start my own? If I was going to start my own, how do I do that?
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Well, I don't know what any of that shit means, so I'll look at that later.
Frameshift drive charging.
Now I already have the crash site logged, so that's going to be easy to find, but I'm going to have a go at mapping the planet, because I want to and I have not done it before. I wonder, does mapping the planet give you an idea of where to find metallic meteorites? Or does it just help you find stupid Thargoid bases and other shit like that? Soon find out. Hello Jamie, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us this evening. Today you get to watch a fairly seasoned veteran player fumble around like a brand new player. I've had a 6-week break from the game. And now I am fumbling around like a 2-day-old player trying to find out what the hell's going on. So, analysis mode maybe? No, that's not the right button. That one? Yeah, but I already know where that stuff is. I don't need a map system to tell me the things I already know. I need a flipping map to tell me where metallic meteorites are, so I don't play Mario Kart around planets. Just all this fancy map system. How about letting me use it? Right, so I do have an detailed surface scanner on this ship. So if I slow down, make sure it's set to a... Do I? Okay, maybe I don't have a detailed surface scanner. I'm sure I had, but I haven't, which is my own fault for being a dumbass. But we are going to go and see if the Jameson flight crash site is still viable for collecting data. That's why we're here. Or have they nerfed it?
Flight engaged.
Oh, because we're going around the dark side of the planet as well. Something I was paying attention to in beta was... Not... Come on, slow down, you big hunk of junk. Yeah, that was a mistake. Night vision. Wow, I'm glad that night vision worked. I'm not sure how I would how I could have seen using that level of excellence. I am in fact back with Elite. I was never really gone. I was just for me there was no point in playing during the beta. I don't have a PC copy of Elite, so there's no point in me covering the beta. Everyone was bored with playing the regular game, so I thought I'll take the opportunity to go and play Red Dead Redemption 2 for a little while. It was a lot of fun. Has all the teething troubles of a new game, and I also played Darksiders 3, but I didn't cover that on YouTube. That was a little personal time for me. But I'm back now. Thankfully, I have not... Oh, night vision only works when you're much further down. Fair play. I'm back now, so let's see what I can find. Can't be asked to go back up into Super Cruise for a minute and 40 seconds. Just keep mashing the boost button. Oh, that looks swanky. Like a big green monster rolling out from under me. Now this particular PlayStation can only broadcast in 720p, so I'm not sure what you can and can't see on YouTube, but it does look pretty cool from my point of view. Yes, I will certainly be covering how to find the new stuff. Before I started flying, I would have said that the systems are still the same. So if you wanted core dynamics, you would go to a Federation system in either Boom or Election. For reverse for Imperial shielding, Outbreak is where you're going to find your pharmaceutical isolators. But when I tried a couple of those right at the very beginning of the stream, the high grade emissions didn't seem to spawn. Now I don't know whether that was just a luck thing or whether maybe perhaps I was doing it wrong. but I'll explore, find out, and make a polished video of it. But for right now, we are coming for what used to be the single best place in the galaxy to get data. About to find out whether it works still. Come on, land, you big tub of crap.
Landing gear retracted.
No, don't do that.
Landing gear deployed.
So up. Rotate down. Good. That's good news.
Low gravity.
Well, it's safe to say, I bet this thing hasn't got night vision, has it? Bugger. So, the good news is that they clearly know about this. It's been covered on every single video known to man. So, now they have changed the layout of this slightly because there was a great marker you could line yourself up against. Oh no, they haven't. I'm entirely wrong. The marker is still there, so it's this battered canister here. So if I now go into turret mode, I should be able to scan all of this from this single location, and you can still. So I don't actually need any of this data, but oh shit, I've taken the time to come here, so let's scan them anyway. You can never have enough data. Yes, so what we're really after is here you go. These here, adaptive encryptions catcher. So they are a grade 5 data, and you can get an unlimited amount of them here. You just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And then once you've got 100 of them, you can trade them for 12 other high grade other data. So for example, data mined wake exceptions are one of the most frustrating datas to get. So I could easily scoop up 100 adaptive, whatever they're called, encryption captures here, and then go and trade them for 12 of these. So I could achieve in 15 minutes here what might take 2 or 3 hours out in the world. It's just a great way to get data that is normally hard to come by. But the good news is, I'm going to try it, just to make sure when we relog it still works. I'm sure it will. I'd be shocked if it didn't, but I'd be foolish not to check it whilst I'm here. I know, but I like to try it for myself too. Right, so back in the same spot. Pop into our turret. Bingo, we can scan them all over again. So we didn't get anything from that one because it only gave us junk. We got some pretty decent stuff from that, but none of what we actually wanted. Cracked industrial firmware is a must. Didn't get anything from that. Oh, we did. We got some captures from that one. And again, we got some more adaptive cryptures from that one. So now if we check our data stores, where are they? Yeah, so we've got 9 of those. So you could easily build up 100 of those, trade them for 12 much harder to find items. So as has been pointed out in the comments, it is still the best place to get data. So that hasn't changed. That makes life easier. You see, the SRV does have night vision. Let's have a look. SRV. Ooh, I like night vision in the SRV. That is good. That will make driving around crappy planets way easier, and it looks cooler as well. If nothing more, it looks fancy. Now all we need are new SRVs with shiny things. Yeah, engineering on SRVs. That would be the... They'll probably add that before a whole new SRV. Love a market player where you could sell... Yeah... I'll be outright honest. I have never been an advocate of players trading in games for items like that. Whilst for 98% of the database of the player base, that would be an excellent, useful idea that would help people out no end. It would lead to a small percentage of people to bullying. Pirating them, we won't leave you alone unless you give us all of your core dynamics, which you spend the last few hours collecting. And whilst that's only a tiny fraction of players in comparison to all the players it would help, I'd rather give it a skip. So according to my spaceship, Dav's Hope still works as well, was there yesterday. Dav's Hope was on my list, and I'll take your word for it rather than going all the way there. So that is good news, because we can, without trading some of our good stuff, pick up all of the lesser junky stuff there, and that makes life way easy. I mean, what? Do I actually need anything? I did a massive collection-a-thon before Chapter 3 dropped, in case it went all tits up. So I had 100 of all grade 5. I mean, cores have got 22, so there's 2 ships worth of upgrades in that. That'll do. Exquisite focus crystals, again, 61. Guardian stuff I don't give a shit about right now. Imperial shielding, loads. Improvised components, even more. That's fantastic. Military stuff, shitloads. Pharmaceutical isolators, 61. Don't actually need... Oh, proto-light alloys. Oh. Okay, so we could practice out our high-grade emissions hunting for some proto-heat radiators. Now, the best place in the galaxy to find proto-heat radiators is in an Alliance system in Boom State. So pick Alliance, look for Boom State. Now normally we could find these 10 a penny. These would be exceptionally easy to find. Now according to EDDB, there are only 3 systems that are aligned to the Alliance government that are in Boom State. I find that difficult to believe. There should be shitloads. Alliance. Boom. Try again. No, there are definitely only 3. Well, that sucks donkey dick. So the second best place is either a Federation or Imperial system in Boom. So pick one with a large population, so weird. So one of the engineers lives there. So we've been here before. WYRD. So it's in Boom, population of 27 million. So we'll have a lot to look through there.
Frameshift drive charging.
And it is 5 jumps. So go back to, well, that's a lot of comments in not a very long short space of time. I have a question. If you run mission, if I run mission and get Boom State, the players get it too. Yes. So the one thing that is truly cross-platform is the Galaxy. So actions that you take that affect the system state on the PS4 will affect a player on the PC, so we'll never see each other as players, but we'll see the effects of our actions as players across all 3 platforms.
Frameshift drive charging.
So in a high population fed system, high-grade emissions should be relatively easy to find. We shouldn't struggle to find them. They're typically stacked full of them. So if under the new system they are not, we will be able to start to draw some opinions on which system was better. The old system may have been more random and frustrating. I guess the new system you find out quicker that you're going to get diddly squat so you can move on, but hopefully you don't get... Now that made sense in my head when I said it, I'm not sure if it came out right. What about solo players? Is that cross... Yes, absolutely. So actions that you take in a solo session, and I am now in a solo session, will affect players across all sessions on all platforms. So if you boost up a station, if you boost up a faction in a station by running loads of missions for them, that will have an effect on all states on that particular platform across every different platform. Now, given Sony's new stance on allowing Fortnite to run cross-platform in its truest form, Elite Dangerous FDev has previously said that the capacity to run a cross-platform game is knocked down to them. So if you read between the lines, it says that Sony wouldn't let us. Delay. It's all a delay for the game, so any actions that you take will be updated on what's commonly known as a server tick. So a system state changes on a server tick, it doesn't change in real time. So yes, absolutely. it was in one of their live streams recently about the difference between real-time updates and a server tick. Now they did say, because it was to do with squadrons, and they did say that you can never rely on the server tick being just after midnight. A lot of people sit around until midnight thinking that they'll get a new refresh of the stats boards. It is typically just after midnight, but not always. Because I'm not located that far from Frontier's offices, so I could just go and sit on the doorstep and say, "You're not doing it right, chaps, get it sorted," and then security would throw me out, and it'd look funny, but I'd have the satisfaction of going there and telling them myself. Right, so we are in our desired system, which is weird, however you want to pronounce it. Oh, at the moment the server tick is happening about 1:30 every day in game. That is interesting. That means that they're ticking the server when the most amount of staff is in the office, so they can correct any problems. That means that they're not confident with the system yet. How long do boom states last? That is dependent on player actions. So typically speaking, any given state in a system will last about 3 days without player interference, because of course there are hundreds of systems and there are not always enough players in a system to affect the system, so they can't just leave it. They can't leave it up to players. So the background simulation, the theatrical actions of NPCs, will upgrade it. So about 3 days, if not interfered with. If there is a gold rush, system state can change in a day. So me or one of the others find a new money grind. Thousands of people flock to that system, rinse the shit out of it, whether that be combat or delivery missions. That will change the state in about a day. So there's no real answer to that. 3 days or a few days is how long a state will typically last. Right, let's sort this new stupid scanny thing. Right, so we are looking for this little tuner thing. This reminds me of an old vinyl thing. So we are looking for high grade emissions in this highly popular... Oh, there you go, there's one. I was about to slate it and I'd have looked stupid. Convoy. Degraded. Convoy. Come out one again. Degraded. Encoded. Combat Aftermath. They're actually quite good, those, for picking up decent stuff. They're not easy to come by, Combat Aftermaths. Distress Call. Is that it? Is that all of the USSs? Oh no. Distress Call. Weapons fire. Conflict zone. So there is one lot of high-grade emissions so far. So let's go and see if we can't find some of them proto heat radiators. Where are they? Don't tell me they're 200,000 light seconds away, because that will be annoying. $11,000 light seconds, that's not the end of the world. And we've got 31 minutes to get there. Although, you see this? Yeah, I have heard through watching Obsidian and his latest update video that that FSS isn't so great when using keyboard and mouse, because I play on PlayStation, so I have no keyboard and mouse experience in this game, so I have no basis for comparison. What is interesting is, if you look in the top right hand corner, this Weird People's Party State Civil War remaining time is 30 minutes and 10 seconds. Now, does that mean that this high-grade emission will contain items that I will find normally associated with the Civil War? Or does it mean that I'll find items associated with the overarching system state, which is Boom, which will be proto items? And it also said there was a new SS just discovered, so does that mean I now have to slow down, scan the system again to find out what it was? Or will it just pop up here, or can I scan it? Right, let's do this the sensible way. So we're going to that high grade, and despite saying that there was a new signal source discovered, it's not popped up here as an unidentified signal source. So that means that I have to do this bloody thing again. Then do this thing. Well, you said there was a new one. So despite saying it had located a new signal source, there are no new signal sources to find. It's useful. Okay, crack on then. Okay, well, we'll keep an eye out for those, and we'll look for them as we find them. So we'll slow down a bit so we don't blast past them too quick. Right, so we've got a new unidentified signal source as signified by the little thing. So we'll go to our left-hand panel and we will look for an unidentified signal source. and there are none showing. So despite us having a message in the top left hand corner, when we go to our new panel on the left, there is not a new unidentified signal source to scan, despite the fact it says that there is. That sucks. Again, we've got a new signal source detected there. Let's go to our left hand panel. No, not coming up with any unidentified signal sources. So that means every single time that you find that an unidentified signal source crops up, you've got to go in, run this scan again, and then set this filter down to the signal sources and zoom in and out of every single gas giant on the off chance that the newest signal source popped up behind a gas giant. Yes, I've got filters set for stars and signal sources only. And somebody sat down in an office in a games development studio and said, how can we make an infuriating system even more infuriating whilst trying to sell it to players like it's better? Jesus Christ, I could get paid a lot of money for that. I can infuriate players by making things way worse. Maybe I should apply for a job there. Well, first of all, I'm just going to drop into this one here and see what's actually in it. Do not like the fact that you have to rescan everything each time a new USS pops up. So yeah, that's not a bad idea, that. I'm going to try that in the very next system that I go to. So, okay, well, it's not the worst problem to have.
Cargo scoop deployed.
There are very few occasions in this game where you would be disappointed to find core dynamic composites. So let's go and choose a new system then. So another highly populated system. in boom state is LHS-20. Let's go and try that nav beacon method. So, high-tech system, 9.5 million population, refinery state in boom.
Frameshift drive charging.
And we're going to make it in 2 jumps. I mean, ultimately speaking, I liked the old system better, but the old system's gone. The old system is not coming back, so I have to get to love the new system. And I imagine in 6 months' time I won't even mention the old system. But for right now, I am allowed to moan about it. I don't like the new system, and I think it's worse than the old system. I don't know, by now I'd have found flipping 20 proto heat radiators for the amount of twatting about I've done with this.
Fuel signal disengaged. Frameshift drive charging.
Nav beacon. Wherefore art thou, nav beacon?
Fuel signal complete.
I do like the idea that if you scan the nav beacon, you'll get all of them. I hope it's true. You guys have done it more than I have. Yeah, I doubt it, but it'd be awesome if they did. But then that's not cross-platform, that's instancing as well. Right, there you are. Right, so we have got our filters set for only, well, we will have in a minute, stars and signal sources, and we have no signal sources despite the fact that we just scanned the nav beacon. So unfortunately, scanning the nav beacon wouldn't appear the signal sources, which is, so we have to go into Super Cruise
Frameshift drive charging.
and then stop just so we can go into that flipping analysis mode. Right, so slow right down, hold triangle, tap that and go for the scan. Got 8 signal sources somewhere. Oh, here we go. So they're already filled in. So you were partially right. Well, you were exactly right. I explained it entirely wrong. So degraded, encoded. So if I can see them here, why can't I see them in my nav panel? I can see them in our nav panel now that I've gone into Super Cruise. So it looks like you need to go into Super Cruise to get them to show up. apologies if the stream is skipping. It's down to good old YouTube. So, as it stands right now, yeah, so we are in a system that should be jam-packed full of high-grade emissions, and we have none. That's a fucking pain in the ballsack, and that's not going to change until those emissions count down and reset. That fucking sucks. Really? Nothing? Right, I'm going to try one more. Then I'm going to write that off to being shit. Jesus, I'm so glad that I stocked up before the changes came, because I would be spitting blood mad. Right, LHS 3262. LHS 3262. 3.4 million high-tech system in Boom that should be stacked full of high-grade emissions with proto items.
Frameshift drive charging.
That's simply not true. I could find under the old system lots of high-grade emissions. Sometimes, like everybody else, I got a bit frustrated when there weren't any about for a little while. Maybe, as you know, 20-30 minutes, but very rare would I have to spend more than an hour looking for, say, 15 core dynamics, and that would be enough to engineer the particular ship I had at that time. But I've never gone to a high population in Boom and had literally nothing. Never had that before in my life. As long as I've been playing this game. Sounds a bit drastic when you say life. So this system would be way worse. Not only because of the fact that there aren't any there, but the fact that when a new one pops up, it's not just a case of quickly steering to scan it. You've got to slow down, go into analysis mode, go through every single possible star in the system, zooming in, and if it's got subsystems, you've got to zoom into those, and then look for the new high-grade emissions. That is a very poor way of doing it, especially when you've changed from a system that didn't have that allowed. So in the few seconds that I've actually been in this system, I've had 3 unidentified signal sources crop up. Now, as they are persistent, as I understand it, they should still be there when I scan this nav beacon. we'll see what they were, but we will need to jump to Super Cruise first. So I've downloaded the system data, but we won't detect signal sources until we get into Super Cruise.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Right. So in this system, signal sources, whatever the hell a ceremonial com is, encodeds, but absolutely no goddamn high-grade emissions. So what I am going to do is just going to wait for a few more to pop up as we cruise out and see if I examined those, what would they turn into. It's a joke. It's so much worse than the old system. Right, so there we go. So we've just had a new signal source pop up. So what I need to do is slow right down, go into this thingy mode, rescan the whole system, move this tuny thing down to where the signal sources are found, and try and work out where the new one out of all of the ones that are already there has popped up. So it's not this one. So that one's a conflict zone. So signal sources are found in this range here. You're not it. So it's now nearly impossible to find where the new one that appeared in the nav panel is. You've just got to guess which system it might have popped up under. Yeah, I don't like the new system. Right, I think we've established that now. There's no need to dribble on about that over and over and over. Right, let's go and do something new. Established the new system is shite. Jesus. Might have to do some forum range over that, because that is unbelievably annoying. Oh, I haven't even looked at the new ship chat.
Frameshift drive charging.
Right, 2 jumps till I get home. long do you think Robigo will last? Well, it's lasted for 3 years so far. In Robigo you can earn the amount of money that the devs feel is appropriate for the game. So anything that ticks much over 100 million will inevitably get a, quote, adjustment. 100 million or lower, they're happy with that. Now, it's fair to say that getting 100 million from Robigo is not always as simple as some of the videos out there make you believe it is. You can't just rock up and start earning 100 million an hour. 100 million an hour comes only when your explorer rank has reached elite, your trade rank has reached elite, and you've got an appropriately equipped Python, and you have full rank with all of the factions in question. So if you're willing to put that amount of work in, the devs are willing to let you earn that amount of money. It's not like the old skimmer missions where you could rock up in a Sidewinder and start pulling out 200 million an hour, and you literally have no rank. So Robigo will be around for a long time to come. Well, what Frontier said was not that 100 devs were working on it. They said they had 100 members of staff working on Elite. Now, define member of staff. That could include the guys that clean the toilets, the guy that pushed the tea trolley around, the guy that sweeps the car park, the devs, the receptionist that answers the phones, the art guys, the people that bring the art guys their cups of tea, the devs assistants, the data analysts, the quality analysts, which are basically games players that play the game. So they're your alpha testers, you'll never hear of them, and they'll never tell us who they are. So I genuinely believe that there was 100 members of staff that worked on this game. Don't believe there was 100 devs that worked on it, and even if there were 100 devs that worked on it, the game would be even worse than it is now, because some things are a one-man job. No, I don't think it was an outright lie. There's no reason for them to deceive us in that sense. I just don't think that... We know for a fact that Frontier recently, received some outside investment, and that as a result of that investment they're looking to branch out into more independent titles, IPs, which is probably the reason we haven't seen Sandro Sammarco recently. I would put good money on the fact that he has been pulled for another project, which is why you get the other guy doing all the dev questions now. So whilst they will never admit it, Sandro almost certainly has been moved off the Elite project onto a new product for Frontier. A lot of devs got pulled for making their Jurassic World Evolution game, but yeah, I'd still say there was a core wing of people. We know this because the guys that went there recently, Obsidian and the others, said they physically saw that many people. When Sandro was moved to another department, do we know that for certain, or are we speculating? I would guess that, but given that we haven't seen him in either the forums or the live streams, it's a safe bet to say that yes, he's been moved on to a different project. Right, I am going to have a look at the new ships because I haven't really seen them properly yet. Just fix this ship. I'm going to put a detailed surface scanner on it as well whilst I'm at it. Right, optional internal. What can I get rid of? Want to keep that, want to keep that, want to keep that, want to keep that. Looks like this is going to have to go. Browse shop. Surface scanners. Scanner. Exchange it. Right, so now I've got a detailed surface scanner. So I can play fire probes at the planet eventually. But for right now, shipyard. I do have a crate Mark II already. It's pretty awesome, but it's my Xeno killing ship. Right. So what are we looking for? Crate Phantom. How much is it? 32 million. I've got enough to buy that. So I'm going to store my current ship. Well, so it's effectively a carbon copy of the crate. Just gonna pop to the bathroom, folks. I'll be back in a few moments. Okay, so yeah, not bad. And let's have a look at the other one. So 50 million for this one. That is, no matter how you describe it, a fat ass. It reminds me of the car that broke the land speed record most recently in Thrust SSC. Or one of those powerboats with the twin pontoons. but most of all, it reminds me of my Fer-de-Lance, and I've already got a Fer-de-Lance, so I don't need one of these. I'm not going to sell it, I'm just going to keep it in case it ever fancies something different one day, but I'm not going to do anything with it. So hopefully combat is just as much fun. They haven't changed anything from there. We're going to accept just one mission. See if it's, I'm hoping for some better visuals. So go to the mission board. See what they've got for us here. Take down Pirate Lord Gareth Young, and that's a wing mission. Yeah, screw it, let's do that for a bit of fun. Right, hostile ships, blah, blah, yeah, bored, don't care. Right, I'll not be taking out my my ship launch fighters for this particular operation, so let's swap that out for something more meaningful. Definitely seems like something I'd do. Oh shit, what weapons loadout have I got? I think I got my PvP loadout. So I was doing some PvP last time, I was indeed. So we are going to store that. Come on, anytime you like. Store that. So multi-cannon oversized and corrosive shell. Go. PvE loadouts.
Detachment complete. Exit station quickly and safely.
During arrival and departure.
fire groups look a lot tidier now. It's not something you spend a lot of time looking at anyway, but visually they look easier on the eye. It's not the worst problem to have.
Mission objective detected.
Really?
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Do we not tell me where you found the mission objective? Do I have to guess? So you found it, but you're just not going to tell me where. Have that. Right. I know. It just, when it said mission objective detected normally, that's an indication that it's detected it already, but it's just being annoying. And guess it, when you jump into a system now, because it scans it all, they haven't reconciled the code against the nav beacon scan and the passive loop of shape scan, which is why it says it's detected even when it's not. Currently unknown, scan required. Well, I scanned the fucking nav beacon. Scan it again. Can't scan it again because I've scanned it once. So, I need to, in order to find where he is, I need to scan the nav beacon. Scan the nav beacon and it doesn't tell me where it is, despite the fact it told me where he is when I got into the system. Let's see if we do this analysis mode scanning thing, if you have to find him that way. Yeah, thinking that myself. Discovered mission related signal source. But fucking where? Oh, there. 8,000 light seconds. Are you having a laugh? Oh well, never mind. It's not the worst problem to have. Right, let's just check these fire groups. Everything on one. Second one. There we go. Now I'm happy. It could use some refinements. believe that's a fair statement. It's got some time to kill as we fly to this new thing. So shit. So shield health 4,500. All of those resistances are above 50% still, which is good. Armor is over 5,000. Oh no, all of these resistances were above 50% before the patch. So why now is my explosive armor resistant now at 48.2% when it was over? I don't recall exactly what it was, but I was proud of the fact that they were all over 50. So that has changed since I last logged in. I have no idea how to get to the codex, if I'm honest. Anyway, there's only 30 seconds to go. I can't have a peek while I'm over here. I see. Well, it's tempting. See, you look at something for 2 pissing seconds and then you overshoot the thing. God damn it. So what's this in the guy's name? Gareth Young. Right, so the purpose of this is just to see how pretty combat looks in the new lighting system. There was never any doubt that I was going to be able to complete this mission, even though it's a wing mission by myself. And if I do lose, it's because the problem is between the keyboard and the seat. Oh, although I have to... Garrett is in a Furderlance and is against me. Is he on drugs? Let's take out some of his cronies first. Just because it's fun. Spin it round. He's on target. It's only a vulture. Really? Temperature critical when I've got a thermal vent beam laser. That's not bad, 58,000 credits for that guy. Before you only used to get about 7 or 8,000 for someone that wasn't the main target. So that's actually a buff on that. Right. So let's keep moving this round. Come on, thrusters. All the way around. Goodbye. Afford to pip into engines. Give me a bit extra manoeuvrability. No, I didn't kill it. I don't have a killer on scanner. They are making inroads into my shields, to be fair. It's not going to help them. Shields are gone because you're in a vulture. Your hull is made of paper mache. Ah shit, my key binding. I'm sat here wondering why I can't go into flight assist off. That's because they've changed the flipping key binders. So I was wondering, 87,000 for one of his Cronus, that's not bad. Okay, I'm going to pop chaff, I'm going to stop targeting you. Come on, pull your fat Corvette arse round. Your day is about to get worse. Can't pull it round as fast as I normally would without that flipping flight assist off key binding. One thing, that these ships have been given a buff since the last time, because these missions, these Pirate Lord missions used to be Anacondas or perhaps even cutters, occasionally even corvettes. So the fact that this Fer-de-Lance is not entirely melted within seconds is actually quite refreshing. And they've got me down to 1 ring of shields. Normally they don't take that. So they have applied a buff to these NPCs, which makes it a bit more interesting. There's some element of danger. Well, so we got 57,000 for the first escorting vulture, 87,000 for the next escorting vulture, 206,000 for that guy, plus the mission reward of 2.2 million. So that's 2.5 million for that bit of work. That's not overly harsh. And if I wanted to, I could scoop up all of that shit. The best stuff there being compound shielding. So yeah, there's some engineering materials to be had too. So I'm now going to go back to Shinrarta. I'm going to have a quick look at the squadron menus. Then I'm going to call it just for this evening. I'll be back on Elite Dangerous on a more permanent basis, although we'll still be doing some Red Dead Redemption related content every now and again. But I'm going to attempt to figure out a better way to find these signal sources, because I can't believe the system is deliberately that bad. I have to believe it's me doing it wrong. Nobody could make that system and think it's good. So I'm going to see what I can figure out and see if I can come up with a better way of locating those items. The hell have I got a fuel scoop on this Corvette for? Maybe that's why my armour rating is down below 50%, because I swapped one of the plates out for a fuel scoop. That would make sense. Okay, fair enough, I can live with that. Something about squadrons there. Yeah, well, even I don't know what the videos will look like yet. I'm going to have to pore over it in fine detail, see what I can find. So unless you like swear words and frustrated feet stamping, live stream probably isn't the best way to go looking for that stuff. I refuse to believe that's the new system. It must be me doing it wrong. It has to be. One of the few occasions ever where I hope that I'm wrong. Hello there, Samurai, thanks for joining. So we've just been out testing out some of the new systems, specifically finding the unidentified signal sources for high-grade emissions. We've been back to the Jameson crash site to ensure that's the best source of data in the galaxy still, and it is. Dav's Hope still works, and combat looks pretty, and NPCs have been given... Oh bollocks, I haven't requested fucking docking. Yes, I'm going, you whiny bastard. 25, where are you?
Landing gear deployed. Services and displays in the starport are constantly being updated. Remember to visit every time you pass through the system.
Docking successful. Ground crew dispatched. It's good to have you with us, Commander.
Right, let's pay off this stupid fine. Oh, cash that in first. Now, do I want 2.2 million, or do I want modified embedded firmware? Well, I've got plenty of cash. I've got nearly 2.5 billion, so I'll have the engineering materials actually. Now I'll go to contacts, pay this stupid fine, and then you can pay me that much money.
Incoming message.
We are pleased to tell you that your reputation has been raised to cordial. Fuck that, I'm allied with everyone in this station, unless you've got a new faction. Yay. Right, squadrons. I know nothing about squadrons. Squadron feed. Join a squadron or create your own to gain access. And how exactly would one go about creating a squadron? I'm guessing this is a good place to start. So, I'm not going to create my own at this time. 10 million credits, that's barely going to touch my bank balance. Let's see who's out there. Oh god, there's so many. Right. Newer squadrons, relaxed, explorers, so if I wanted, oh Jesus, there's a few different options there. Why the hell would you want a squadron if you only played in solo? That defeats the object of having a squadron. Dumbass. And I need to come up with a snazzy name. No, as I understand it, in the limited time that I have been watching the beta related content, squadrons are platform specific. So the Fuel Rats and many others, Canon Research Group, were able to reserve their name across the consoles. So although they're all Fuel Rats, they are entirely separate of each other. And I can't think of a snazzy squadron name at this time, so I'm not going to make one. My crew name on Grand Theft Auto is Cupid Stunts, and for those of you who can do a tiny bit of word decoding, can figure out the irony in that. No, I'm not going to do that today. Righty-ho. So what we know for certain is that the USS system is either epic and I'm doing it wrong, or sucks donkey dick and is entirely shit. Scanning stuff is annoying. Combat looks pretty. NPCs have been given a buff, and I'm still figuring out what buttons do what. So I'm going to go away, and I'm going to attempt to find some other money-making methods that are not Robigo, that are fun and worth your while. I'm also going to go away and figure out if I can make some type of sense of this new USS system. And then data is pretty awesome, and any new discoveries. So stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't, if you like what you've seen today. If you don't like what you've seen today, don't subscribe. Pretty simple that way. But until next time, I will see you guys around, and have fun.